almost laugh, 'cause we're all in this together. And
All right, folks. Welcome to the Short Vol Show. I'm going to cut that off before I get another strike against me for playing fish. But great fish shows in Georgia last couple days. Check it out online. I guess there's some stuff on YouTube about it to check out. But great tour, I guess, for fish recently. I know most people are not watching this for fish, but just to say, great tour. Okay, so Tesla. So what happened yesterday in Tesla? Well, pretty shocking. All of a sudden, the stock started moving. I was looking at it. I had a spread on, and this calendar spread, and the stock was trading like 343 or something at about 9:30, 10 in the morning. And all of a sudden, I look back, and it's ripped up. It's up, like trading the 360s. And then it halts. It halted. Let's see. It halted. I think it was around like 367, something like that, where it halted. Let's see if we can pull that exact number up. But the reason it halted, of course, was because Elon Musk. Elon Musk tweeted first of all, and then it ripped up. It didn't halt right away, but eventually it did halt. News pending. So let's pull up Tesla here, and reopened up, gapping up to 380, a high of 387 yesterday on the news. And okay, so what was the news? Well, it was an Elon Musk tweet. So let's pull up the tweet. And this tweet was confirmed. It wasn't hacked or anything. It was from created by Elon Musk. And so let's see what he had to say. Shareholders. All right, so here's the tweet. Am considering taking Tesla private at $420. Funding secured. This was 22 hours ago, so that would have made it right now. I don't even know what time it is. So that would have made it, I guess, around noon yesterday. Well, something like that, noon, maybe a little bit earlier than that. I think maybe it's like West Coast time. But so taking the company private, funding $420. Okay, that doesn't give us a whole lot of information, but it did move the stock, and there were some bonds in Tesla, convertible bonds, which basically, essentially, like, if the stock was above a certain level, I think it was 360. I'll pull it up as I talk to you. I think it was 360. But there's a certain level where Tesla bonds were, basically, they were in much better financial shape if they, if the stock was above this price. And the tweet that Elon Musk made brought the stock above that price, and so that was is a really good thing for Tesla that the stock got above that price, regardless of how it got there. And on top of that, it was revealed that a Saudi stake in the car maker, basically a Saudi person owned around a $2 to $3 billion stake in the car maker. It was the Saudi Arabia Sovereign Wealth Fund, which is basically the royal family. And so a bunch of news. I was talking about a strategy the last couple of days to put a calendar spread on and make money, but the calendar spread I had on, it kind of requires the stock to kind of stay in somewhat of a range. So like an up $40 in one direction doesn't work that well for that spread. So I was kind of happy that I did not have the spread on when that news came out. And the reason, like, a Tesla is a crazy stock. Okay, you have to bear that in mind. This thing can do anything at any time, and it's proven to do so over and over and over again. So nothing shocking with Tesla. That's why when you're trading it, you want to stay small. You want to evaluate your risk for any move. So whatever you have on, you want to say, what happens if this stock goes in half today? What happens if this stock doubles today? And be prepared and have a plan, because it's just that kind of stock. It's a crazy, crazy stock. It just flies all around. I'm trying to find if I can find this Tesla bonds thing info here. Let me type in Tesla bonds. All right, let's see. Because that's a big part of the equation. And then I promise I will get back to the options trading and how we trade this, what happens to options when a cash takeover happens. Okay, so the issuer's 5.3% notes due in 2025, which priced at par last August. Well, it doesn't say it right here, but basically, like, some bonds are convertible if the stock is above a certain price. So that means that, like, that they don't have to worry about this money they owe, because they can actually just give them stock at a certain price if the stock is above that price. So it's basically good news for this stock if it can go above the price. And I think the price was like around $360. Anyway, so let's go to options for a second. Okay, so what happens in a cash takeover? A cash takeover is kind of like an instant expiration for all of the options. So at whatever time a cash takeover occurs, all the options go to parity. So if Tesla is trading $350 and it gets taken over for cash for $400, then it would be as if Tesla expired at $400, and whatever date the transaction goes through, it would be the expiration for all options. Now, that's bad if you own options that are farther out expirations than that time period, because all of the value of those options, the time premium, the extra extrinsic value in those options just disappears. So being long, like leaps, for example, like let me just give you an example here. So let's take a look at Tesla right now. And the thing is that if there's going to be like a cash takeover or something, you'll see the option prices start to move. So for example, let's look at Jan 20 calls. Okay, so if you look at the Jan 20, let the 600 calls are $6 or 660 bid. So $660 for one Jan 600 call. Okay, this gets taken over in a cash deal. Those go to zero. Okay, this gets taken over at 400. And the deal is before January 2020. When we look at these calls here, the Jan 410 calls, $43, so $4,300 for each call. This call goes to zero. So if there really was going to be a cash deal happening, then these calls would not still be for 4,300 bid a piece. They would start crushing these downward. And so you don't see anything in the options indicating that there would be a cash deal here. If there was a cash deal, then all the calendar spreads would essentially go to just the cost of carry over that time period for whatever that option premium was. So, for example, if it was a sort of a deep call, the premium to own that call, the interest on that for the time period out till expiration of that option, that's the only premium that would be in the calendar spread. Very much like, I don't know, like S&P futures, SPX futures, S&P futures, that sort of thing. That's the kind of like curve between the options. There would not be the premiums and calendar spreads that you have normally if it was a cash takeover. All right, so big move yesterday. Tesla has been bouncing around. You know, it's all over the place now. There was some question over whether this was somehow illegal for Elon Musk to tweet something. It seems Twitter is caught up in all of this official business, starting, of course, with the president, but now moving on to other companies. It's sort of fascinating the way Twitter is sort of at the center of a lot of these things. I did want to comment for a second on Alex Jones. Now, Alex Jones is a controversial guy who is a conspiracy theorist. I was kind of amused by Alex Jones watching his crazy ideas, but I became sort of more... I found him more enjoyable after I watched his interview with Joe Rogan about a year ago. He was on the Joe Rogan show, and Joe Rogan like kind of sort of framed the way Alex Jones is in a way that was appealing to me. So, just saying that like he's a wacky guy, comes up with these crazy theories, and basically makes money off these crazy theories, half of which he probably just doesn't really believe himself. But it's a way to make a living, and it's a better way to make a living than say pumping gas or something like that. So I'm just pulling up this Alex Jones interview on. So check this out. Check this interview out at some point. Joe Rogan Experience number 911, Alex Jones and Eddie Bravo. Now, Eddie Bravo is a little bit of a conspiracy theorist too, but this is great. This is golden stuff here. Great interview. And you know what? I've always been sort of leaning a little bit to the left, as you'll know if you've been following me for a while. And people are, of course, lining up on this issue of him being banned by party. The left is saying it's okay. The right is saying, well, this is censorship of the right. I got in trouble by kind of talking to people on social media. People were trolling me, and I was trolling them back and forth. And, I took both sides of the issue. I was defending Alex Jones on Twitter, and I was kind of explaining to people why he was taken off YouTube for violating their terms, etc. I find some of what Alex Jones, I find a lot of it reprehensible. He definitely is anti-Semitic. He definitely has tried to incite violence, this and that. However, I see somebody like Alex Jones being taken off of YouTube. I see that as a threat to people like me with small channels. I think that maybe you say to Alex Jones, you are blocked for 90 days from being on YouTube, and then you're allowed back on, that sort of thing, because YouTube allows people to come on and for whoever to come on and start a channel. And if that wasn't true, I wouldn't be able to have a channel. There'd be some gateway, and they'd be blocking me from coming on. YouTube has been a place where I could find a home for my content, and I feel threatened when someone like Alex Jones is banned, because who's to say tomorrow that people won't say that, oh, well, shorting a stock is un-American, and we don't want you on here talking about, trading puts or something like that. Now, I know that sounds a bit outrageous, but the climate, you never know about the climate and the political climate and what people are going to think is bad. I mean, YouTube now, if you mention, even though that, marijuana has been legalized, if you even mention that word, you can get demonetized for your entire video. Even talking about MJ stocks, you can get demonetized. So who knows who they're going to come after next. But, and as Kyle Kolinsky from Secular Talk would say, I'm a free speech absolutist, in that I think that Alex Jones should be able to say whatever he wants. Now, these are private companies, of course, but they're such big companies, and they have such a huge platform. It seems like they should be some space somehow for Alex Jones to be still on YouTube. Now, whether advertisers don't want their ads on his stuff, I could understand that. But Alex Jones is going to be okay. I mean, he's gotten huge publicity from this, and he's going to make money off of this scandal. Believe me, he's selling his supplements. I read somewhere that the stuff that is still up there, I think it's on maybe Apple or something, is getting more views than ever. So, Alex Jones is going to be okay. He hasn't been censored from the media of the United States. These are private companies. He doesn't have some sort of absolute right to be on YouTube. It's not a public company. And he hasn't been censored from everything. He can still produce his show. But something about it just doesn't sit right with me. And also the way it sort of happens that all these companies at the same moment ban him. It's like they all got together and said, oh, we got to get rid of this guy. And I've noticed this with like acting and things like that. Like if you can get on one show with one network, then all the networks think that you're legit. And so it's kind of the reverse here where like one place bans him, then all of them ban him. And I know that ultimately companies do things like this to cover themselves. But something about that Alex Jones thing just doesn't sit right with me, and I think he should be allowed back. Now, I don't agree with a lot of what he says, and like I said, he has these crazy conspiracies. One of the biggest things. There was Pizzagate, and then there was the thing with he was saying that this I guess it's called Sandy Hook. It was actually in Connecticut, not that far from where I grew up. But yeah, the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, he said that it was fake, and that was a huge controversy for Alex Jones. And there is a kid who the kid passed away, and his parents have been hounded and had to move several times because of Alex Jones supporters going after them and saying, hey, can you imagine you lose your kid to a school shooting, and then these crazies are coming after you saying, oh, that your kid was an actor and it's all fake, and they're like heckling you? Can you imagine how awful that would be? And, this is byproduct of Alex Jones' craziness. And, he's not directly responsible for all of that, but he has some responsibility, because these people wouldn't be out there heckling all these people if it wasn't for the Alex Jones show and all of that. Now, most recently, the anti-Semitic stuff doesn't, rubs me the wrong way. And all of his flip-flops rub me the wrong way. He's amusing as entertainment. I'll give that to him, but that's all it is for me. And but I don't think he should have been banned from YouTube. All right, enough on that. Let's take a quick look at the VIX. And VIX right now 1087, down 6 cents. Contango hovering right around 10% right now, with the spot M1 spread pretty wide, almost $2 now. Okay, so it's like 180, 178. The spot M1 spread. Contango 9.88%. So what that means to me is this UVXY can continue to go lower. UVXY hit another all-time low this morning. Looks like 822 or 823, something around there. I'm sorry, I've got this wrong. All-time low right now, 813. So UVXY going through the all-time lows, 813 right now. And, it may not stop here, because, like I said, Contango's steep right now, and there's a big amount of room between spot and M1. So if you're short, stay short. I don't know if I would initiate a short here, because VIX 1085 is the lowest it's been since, I think, this year probably. So probably not a great place to initiate a short, but definitely you know, it kind of makes sense that the VIX is here. We've had markets at all-time highs, not much going on, and here we stand with new all-time lows in UVXY. Also in TVIX, let's take a look at VXX for a second. I believe VXX, same thing. No, VXX, we'd have to get to 25.59 for the all-time low, but getting closer. TVIX 30.5 all-time low, another all-time low today. UVXY 812 all-time low today. All right, so I do have an interview with Seth Golden coming up. Uploading it to the channel right now. So as soon as that's uploaded for you, which should be in the next hour, it will be ready to go. 2 other interviews, big interviews this week with people who I've never met before, but very exciting. Well, one of them I have talked with before, but the other person never even talked to before. Very exciting. Those are going to occur on Thursday, and they should be out either Friday or over the weekend. But look, thanks so much for watching and for your support. I can use your support on Patreon. If you could give like $1 or $2. I know it takes like 5 minutes. It's a hassle to put your credit card in and take 5 minutes, but really, really would help me out because I've got these side jobs which aren't so fun, and I'd much rather be sitting here talking to you more often. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today, and look forward to that Seth Golden interview coming up shortly, and I will see you next time on the Short Vol Show. And as I cue the exit music, here we go.
But I liked it.
Thanks, folks.
Oh my.
contained in this video is for educational purposes only. Everybody's financial situation is different, so some strategies covered in this video may not be appropriate for you. Trading in leverage products is risky and should only make up a small part of an overall investment strategy. To become a better trader, you need to take personal responsibility for any trading losses. Views of people being interviewed are not necessarily endorsed by this channel. We try to present many opposing views and let you decide. David is not a licensed financial advisor and is not trying to sell you anything. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.